Double bind.
Double bind. Double bind. Double bind.
Double bind.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Double Bind, the blackest podcast out there. Why is it the blackest podcast out there? It's because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I am your host, Springle. I have my co-host here straight out of Toronto. We're talking about Boogs, and in-house today we have my other boy, and that would be Sneed, coming out of Jersey. What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, y'all.
Thank you for joining me. And I wanted to talk about a really sensitive topic right now. In fact, it's hot off the press. Chadwick Boseman just died. I think that's a really sad element in Black entertainment, because that man was just about to sort of reach superstardom post Black Panther, and here we have information he's no longer living. He seemed really cool, just chill, laid back, and it's not a lot of stars you get like that. So in terms of me discovering Chadwick Boseman, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't know much about this man. He flew underneath my radar pre Gods of Egypt, and I love the way he played, I think it was Thought. And I love the way he kind of played it almost like a feminine librarian. I totally gave a new shift to the character, something I wouldn't have expected. In terms of both of you, when did you first come across Chadwick Boseman?
I actually met Chadwick Boseman some years back when I wanted to get back into acting again and realized that the game had changed a whole lot. And I needed to, get myself, get that reset into the acting world. And I went through a little program in the evening at the New Federal Theater. And he came in, one of the instructors brought him in and introduced him to us. And I was like, who the hell is this? He kind of gave the introduction of who he was, and he sat in with us during the class and everything, and he engaged with us. It's sort of like a Q&A kind of situation. I was impressed with, just how because, you meet a lot of Black celebrities and sometimes they give off that standoffish type energy, but his was a little different. His was very inviting. So he sat in with us throughout the class, and it was just, it kind of turned it from us doing our skits to having like a Q&A with him and questions about the industry and, his journey through acting and him giving a little bit of inspiration. And I thought that was really, it was interesting. And then a week later, I think I saw him on some TV show. I don't know if it was Law and Order or it was one of those like cop type shows. And I was like, oh, that's the guy who came to our class. And, it just kind of popped off from there. And I kind of started following him after that.
Okay, I think for me, my first encounter, it wasn't as beautiful as yours. I didn't get to see him in person. I got to see him on the big screen. And actually, since, last night he passed, obviously I've been delving more into his career and seeing where he got started. And the fact that his first feature film on the big screen was 42. And that was the first movie I saw with him in it. And I remember feeling so moved by his portrayal of Jackie Robinson. I almost felt like he was a superhero. He did the role so much justice, and he played it so well. And he was 35, I believe, at that time. So 4 years later, he gets diagnosed with colon cancer, and the roles that he's chosen, it's like he consciously chose and sought out roles that would make a difference within the community in our space. I think the second movie I saw was Thurgood Marshall, which is another movie that really moved me. He played it so well. And then, of course, the iconic first Black major superhero in a feature film that we all just saw. And again, that was a cultural moment for all of us because, no matter the ages, I can't speak for you guys, but for me, had I had seen a Black superhero on television in this capacity when I was younger, it could have changed my whole trajectory of my own life, because I would have seen representation of what a superhero is, and I could aspire to that, and he or she looked like me. I remember when Black Panther was getting ready to come out, I had a friend and he said, we've got to dress up. We've got to go to the movies in high numbers. We got to support this movie. It has to be number one. And I was just like, yeah, like I feel this energy, this movement, this Wakanda, even though it's a fictional place, it just all got us in the movie theater and all of us extremely excited. And Chadwick Boseman has just done something for us that no one will ever do. No one will ever fill his shoes. And if you look at a lot of his speeches for a lot of his movies, and he's gone to visit sick children, and he's gone to speak to them, and he's spoken to them about unity and pride and staying strong. And just to know that he was fighting a battle that he couldn't share with us.
Amazing.
It's just so heartbreaking, but yet so strong.
I was just going to say, and also just amazing in the sense that this man could have been suffering, we're looking at him on screen thinking, oh, he's doing a great job, not knowing if this man is in pain, that while he's on set. I love the fact that he never kind of divulged that. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't too happy learning of his battle with cancer post-death. I kind of delved more into his history and his battle with cancer. And I realized there are some reasons why he may not have wanted us to know. You don't want to shift focus away from the films and projects he might be working on. You don't want to have directors looking at you as a strong liability. He also may have had strong intent in terms of the roles that he's taken on, like what you're saying, Bugs. If it's one thing, I got to give it to him. Again, his roles are all very substantial. And I definitely appreciate that. After delving into his issues and dealings with it in the past few years, I realized, he kind of wanted to keep it private so he could focus on work. In terms of his role as Black Panther, as Bugs was saying, like, I dressed up myself. I don't know about you, Sneed, but I dressed up. I went out with two of my friends, and we joined another group, and every single one of us in that movie theater in downtown Brooklyn were screaming, hollering, laughing, crying, a whole bunch of things loudly, because that was the first time that we've ever seen representation like that, like the numbers in the film, just all these Black people. And it didn't seem strange, it felt so familiar, like it's something that we always wanted to see. It was almost like coming home. In terms of the impact, I did some research, and as of today, Black Panther is now at 1.3 billion gross. That is a huge number for a film, you know what I mean? Especially helmed by an all-Black cast. And if I'm not mistaken, Hollywood used to always not support or want to financially back films that had primarily Black leads.
I don't know if you guys were on social media last night, but everyone was mourning. Like the world was mourning simultaneously. And in that mourning, people had their think pieces that they were tweeting. They had videos, montages of his work that they put together so quickly. And I looked at I think it's not a Black Panther movie. It's one of the other Marvel movies where they all come together, or the superheroes are at the end and they fight.
Avengers.
Oh, I forget his name.
Endgame.
Avengers, right? So Avengers. So again, this Black man, this Black community, they come to save the day, right? They are the superheroes of the superheroes. And I remember looking at that scene last night, and I'm thinking to myself, we get our first Black superhero that's iconic, and we're not going to get to see him again. Like, and I mean, obviously it hit me, the news of his death, and then his role, and I mean, that's not his real life. This is just what it means to us. There's a whole other layer to that his family has to deal with. But I just remember thinking and feeling like we finally got it, and now it's gone. He can never be replaced.
Nope.
The children are mourning because they just found representation, or they just have representation of what it could be for them. And they're mourning because it's gone. As quick as it came is as quick as it left.